You don't fall for the wrong people because you're foolish. You fall for them because your brain confuses something familiar with something safe. That spark you call chemistry. Sometimes it's not love at all. Sometimes it's your nervous system recognizing an old wound and leaning in for more. By the end of this video, you'll see the invisible pattern pulling your choices and the exact moment where you can finally interrupt it. Let's check if this is you. There's a type of person you keep ending up with. Different faces, different names, same story. Your friends saw it before you did. They met the new person, smiled politely, and later said, they seem exactly like your ex, the kind, stable, available person. You felt nothing. Great on paper, you said, but there's no spark. But the one who texts back at random, hot one day, cold the next. Your whole body lights up like a slot machine. You've defended someone by saying, you just don't know them like I do. And deep down, even you weren't convinced. You've mistaken anxiety for excitement, checking your phone every 2 minutes, replaying their words, calling that feeling butterflies. When things finally get calm and steady, a strange restlessness creeps in. Peace feels boring, almost suspicious. And after every ending, you swore, never again. New rules, new standards. Then someone walked in with that familiar energy, and the rules evaporated. If any of that landed, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. You're running one of the oldest programs in human psychology. Because attraction was never really about who is good for you. It's about who feels like home. And for some of us, home wasn't a safe place. So let's open the machine. 5 layers down, there's a moment where this entire pattern can be interrupted. Layer 1, the familiarity trap. Your brain has one job above all others: keep you alive. And its favorite shortcut for survival is brutally simple. What is known is safe. What is unknown is dangerous. Notice what's missing from that rule. Nowhere does it say what is known is good. Just known, predictable, mapped. Psychologists call part of this the mere exposure effect. The more often you encounter something, the more your brain prefers it. No quality check included. It works on songs, on faces, on logos, and yes, on emotional climates, including painful ones. If you grew up around criticism, criticism feels normal. If love always came with conditions, unconditional warmth feels foreign, like a language you never learned. Your nervous system tuned itself to a certain emotional frequency in childhood. As an adult, it scans every room for that same frequency. And when it finds a match, it doesn't whisper. It floods you with recognition. That jolt you feel, you call it attraction. Your body calls it, I know this place. This is why my type is rarely a list of virtues. It's a fingerprint of your earliest emotional environment. The brain would rather walk into a familiar storm than stand in an unfamiliar calm. Read that again. Because to your survival brain, the storm is mapped. It knows where the thunder comes from. The calm, no map, no data, threat. So when you meet someone carrying the same chaos you grew up around, your alarm system doesn't go off. It relaxes. It says, finally, something I understand. Meanwhile, the genuinely kind person trips every sensor, too quiet, too steady, too unmapped. Your body reads safety as suspicion. That no spark feeling with good people isn't the absence of love. Often, it's the absence of threat, and you've never felt love without it. Sit with that for a moment. The pull you trust the most might just be your past, recognizing itself. But familiarity is only the doorway. What walks through it is something psychologists have watched for over a century. Layer 2, the repetition. Freud noticed something strange in his patients. People kept recreating the exact situations that hurt them. He called it repetition compulsion, not because they enjoyed the pain, but because somewhere deep down, a younger part of them was trying to win a game it once lost. The unconscious logic goes like this: if I can find someone just like the person who hurt me and make them love me, the old wound finally closes. It's the emotional version of returning to a rigged casino, convinced that this time you'll beat the house. Attachment researchers gave this a gentler name, the internal working model, a blueprint of love, drawn before you could even speak. If love meant earning approval, you're drawn to people you must perform for. If love meant chasing, you're drawn to people who run. If love meant walking on eggshells, then someone unpredictable feels weirdly romantic. The blueprint doesn't update on its own. Here's the cruel twist. The wrong person doesn't just match your blueprint, they confirm it. Every disappointment whispers, "See, this is what love is." And confirmation feels strangely satisfying, even when what's being confirmed is breaking your heart. This is why insight alone doesn't save you. You can know your pattern, name your pattern, write essays about your pattern, and still text them back, because the pattern doesn't live in your thoughts. It lives lower, in the body, in the nervous system, in what your chest does when their name appears on your screen. Think back across your relationships, not the faces, the feelings, the same hunger to be chosen, the same fear of being too much, the same waiting. Different actors, same script. And the casting director is a part of you that never got to grow up. That part isn't sabotaging you, it's protecting you with the only map of love it was ever given. So far, this might sound like old news. Childhood shapes attraction, fine. But there's a third layer most people never hear about. And it changes everything. Layer 3, the chemistry illusion. Your body has a dirty little secret. It cannot tell the difference between excitement and fear. Racing heart, sweaty palms, stomach in knots. Can't stop thinking about them. Now tell me, did I just describe falling in love or being in danger? Exactly, you can't. And neither can your brain. The body signals are nearly identical. The only difference is the label your mind slaps on top. Psychologists prove this with one of the most famous experiments in attraction research. It involved a bridge. In 1974, researchers had men cross one of two bridges. One, a high, swaying suspension bridge over a canyon. The other, low, solid, and safe. At the middle of each bridge, the same woman stopped them, asked survey questions, and gave them her phone number. Call me if you want the results. The men on the safe bridge mostly forgot about her. The men on the scary bridge, they called in waves. Many described her as more attractive. Same woman, same conversation. The only difference was a pounding heart and a brain scrambling to explain it. The brain felt fear, looked around, saw a person, and concluded it must be love. Scientists call it misattribution of arousal. Now here's the part that should stop you cold. The wrong person is the scary bridge. Their unpredictability keeps your heart pounding, and your brain keeps labeling that pounding passion. Every mixed signal is a gust of wind. Every late reply, a creak in the ropes. Your heart races for survival reasons, and you write love poems about it. And there's a second engine underneath. Intermittent reinforcement. Rewards that come unpredictably are the most addictive rewards on Earth. Pigeons in a lab will peck a button thousands of times when food drops randomly. Constant food. They get bored. Random food. Obsession. The person who is sometimes warm and sometimes gone turns your phone into that button. Every notification might be the jackpot, so you keep pecking. Meanwhile, the steady person, the one who always replies, always shows up, triggers no jackpot. The dopamine system shrugs. Predictable. Next. So that intoxicating intensity you've been chasing, it's not depth, it's volatility. A roller coaster feels more alive than a train, but only one of them gets you home. Read this twice. The absence of anxiety is not the absence of love. You've just never been given love quiet enough to hear the difference. Some of what you've called butterflies your whole life was your body politely screaming. That doesn't mean all excitement is danger. It means one question matters more than any spark. Do I feel calm and drawn to them? Both, not one. But before we get to the way out, you need to see what this pattern actually costs, because the price is higher than a few bad breakups. Layer 4. The first cost is time. Years spent decoding someone instead of being loved by someone. Relationships that were really just one long question. Do you actually want me? The second cost is your self-trust. Every time the pattern repeats, a quiet voice inside asks, "How did I not see it again?" And slowly, the conclusion shifts from "I chose badly" to something darker. Maybe something is wrong with me. That conclusion is wrong, but it doesn't feel wrong. It feels like evidence. Stacked, dated, and filed by every relationship that ended the same way. The third cost is the cruelest. The good ones you let walk away. The kind person whose calm read as boring. The steady hand you drop to chase a spark. Somewhere out there is a version of your life where you stayed. Where boring became safe. Safe became deep. And deep became the love you were actually looking for. And the fourth cost lands on the people who come after, because hurt that isn't examined doesn't stay contained. It gets handed forward. The anxious person dates the avoidant person. Each confirms the other's deepest fear. Two blueprints perfectly mismatched, locking together like puzzle pieces of pain. One chases, the other retreats. The retreat makes the chase desperate. The desperation makes the retreat certain. Round and round. From the inside, it feels like passion. From the outside, it looks like two people reenacting their childhoods at each other. Here is the sentence nobody wants to hear. The pattern will not exhaust itself. It does not expire. It waits. New city, new job, new person. The pattern packs its bags and comes along, because the common factor in every wrong person you chose was the chooser. That stings. But hold on, because it's also the best news in this entire video. If the chooser is the common factor, then the chooser is also the exit. You can't control who shows up. You can retrain what you reach for. Layer 5. Step 1 is brutally simple. Give your pattern a name, not a diagnosis, a nickname. The fixer, the chaser, moth mode. Naming does something neurologically real. It moves the pattern from the driver's seat to the passenger seat. You can't steer what you can't see. Step 2. Learn your body's tells. The next time you feel that instant, electric pull toward someone, pause. Don't act. Just observe. Ask the bridge question. Is my heart racing because this person is wonderful, or because some part of me just recognized the storm? You don't need the answer immediately. The pause itself is the victory. Old patterns live on autopilot, and a pause breaks autopilot. Step 3. Run the slow test. The wrong people are fireworks in the first week. The right people are usually a slow sunrise. So slow everything down on purpose. Intensity hates patience. Manipulation hates patience. But genuine care, it survives slowness just fine. Step 4. And this is the hard one. Let calm feel wrong for a while. When you finally date someone safe, your nervous system will protest. Expect it. Boredom in early calm is not a verdict. It's withdrawal. Your body is detoxing from cortisol, it once called romance. Give the quiet person 3 dates more than your gut wants to. Not forever, just long enough for your body to learn a new definition of spark. Step 5. Heal the template at the source. The pattern formed in relationship, and it rewires in relationship. Safe friendship, good therapy. Any bond that doesn't bite. Every safe connection is a software update. Each one teaches your nervous system the sentence it never learned. Consistent is not boring. Consistent is rare. And one day, quietly without fireworks, someone steady will make you feel something new. Not a jolt, a loosening, shoulders dropping, breath deepening. That feeling has a name too. It's what safety feels like when you finally stop confusing it with boredom. You were never attracted to pain. You were attracted to the hope of fixing it. And that hope can finally be aimed at the one person who can actually do the fixing. The wound was never proof you're hard to love. It was proof you learned love in a hard place. Those are very different sentences. So here's everything in one breath. Your brain mistakes familiar for safe. Your blueprint casts old roles with new faces. Your body mislabels fear as fireworks. The cycle bills you in years and self-trust. And the exit was never about finding better people. It's about becoming a calmer chooser. The next time you feel that instant, magnetic, can't explain it pull, don't slam the door. Just stand still for 1 second longer than usual. And in that second, ask, is this attraction or is this recognition? One question. That's where every cycle ends, because you are not doomed to repeat your past. You were just never shown where the repeat button was. Tonight, think of your last few wrong people. Don't ask what was wrong with them. Ask what was familiar about them. Sit with whatever comes up. And tell me in the comments, what's the pattern you keep repeating? The one you've never said out loud. Naming it here might be your first interruption. The pull toward the wrong person was your past asking to be seen. See it, and you finally get to choose.